Kris Jenner opens up about the relationship and communication struggles she went through with Caitlyn Jenner, formerly known as Bruce Jenner, while they were still married. In the July issue of Vanity Fair, now famously known as the world's formal introduction to Caitlyn Jenner, Kris Jenner gets candid with the magazine on how much information about Caitlyn's transition was actually divulged during their marriage, and ultimately what it was that broke them up for good. Note that when the following quotes were initially spoken, Caitlyn was still going by Bruce, and therefore Kris is quoted using male pronouns. So Kris told the magazine, quote, "He was married to me and he wasn't who he wanted to be, so he was miserable. It was the most passive-aggressive thing I think I've ever experienced. All I was doing was working very hard for my family so that we could all have a wonderful future, and he was pissed off." She then brought up some of the questions that racked her brain once she learned that Caitlyn wanted to be Caitlyn all along. Kris asked, quote, "Why would you want to be married and have kids if this is what you wanted since you were a little boy? Why would you not explain this all to me?" Although the magazine said that Kris felt the relationship came to an end with no warning, Caitlyn says that Kris was fully aware that she liked to dress up in women's clothing. Caitlyn said that Kris knew about then Bruce's interest in wearing women's clothing, and that Kris had even seen her ex dressed as Caitlyn. She says that they also had an agreement that she would only cross-dress when traveling alone and not when in their home. But Kris, on the other hand, said that gender was never mentioned. She told the magazine, quote, "Nobody mentioned a gender issue." Kris said that she'd never actually seen her ex dressed in women's clothing and instead had only heard from someone that Caitlyn liked to dress up. It's reported that although Kris did say she knew Caitlyn had been on hormone treatment before they were married, she had assumed Caitlyn's larger than usual chest for a man was a, quote, "man boobs situation." But in the end, Caitlyn told Vanity Fair that the breakup was, quote, 20% gender and 80% the way I was treated. A lot of times Kris wasn't very nice. Probably a mistake I made was maybe not having her understand, no, the severity of it, but that this is a condition you cannot get away from. The story goes on that after all has been said and done, Caitlyn is happier than ever in her true skin, and Kris is fully supporting her friend. All right, guys, that is the latest for now. Thanks so much for checking out Clevver News. I'm your host, Dana Ward. Don't forget to subscribe, and then you can click over here to check out Caitlyn's stepdaughter, Kim Kardashian West, announcing baby number 2. Congrats. See you guys next time. And for more about the most talked about family in the biz, click to the left for a rundown of celebs who have dissed the Kardashians, or you can click to the right to relive some of the most ridiculous moments from their show.